Today I'm fishing the Dry Tortugas, which is located about 70 miles west of Key West, Florida. It's a remote group of 7 small islands surrounded by turquoise water and coral reefs. The waters are home to a variety of sought-after fish including the snapper, grouper, amberjack, tuna, and mahi-mahi. Today we're traveling over 130 miles from the coast of Florida right outside the Dry Tortugas. Now let's start this fishing adventure from the beginning. All glory to God. Be positive, just fish. Our first python. That's a stud fish, yo.
I have it. Look at this fish. It's a 10-pounder. That's like a 300-pound grouper.
Today we're fishing with Captain Jason Diver from Southwest Slam Fishing. We're not just fishing on any boat. We're fishing on a 37-foot Freeman. And this is definitely the most expensive boat and the best boat I've ever fished on. I've been wanting to do an offshore trip in this thing for a long time, and it's finally happening. Shout out to Renewal Rain, which is a Christian mineral water brand. Renewal Rain helps keep me hydrated out on the water, and this is the lemon lime flavor called Psalm Squeeze. This isn't only a drink that's healthy to help hydrate you, but helps renew the soul as well, and is a great gospel conversation starter. Use code ZUGGY15 at renewalrain.com or click the link in the video description to check it out. My dad, Sean, AD, my brother, and I woke up at 1:45 a.m. to drive across Florida to the west coast. With our warm clothes on, we met up with Diver and drove about 2.5 hours, which is about 80 miles offshore, to try to find some cobia and tuna. We made it to the first spot and chummed for some tuna and cobia, but as we were putting our chum out, all these dolphins came up to eat our bait. It was really cool to see, but annoying for the fishing. Soon after that, we saw our first cobia, and these fish were extremely skittish today.
They'll just barely like... He ate it and spit it out. No, he eats that flounder.
It would bite a little bit of it and then spit it out of its mouth. There weren't many tuna around and none of them wanted to bite. The bonita were thick, but that wasn't the target species. So we continued to move on further towards the Dry Tortugas. It was time to bottom fish to see if we could find any red snapper on the way to the main spot or other fish species. Used squid and threadfin on a chicken rig and dropped it to the bottom.
That's probably more like a snipe snapper. Beautiful technique. Grouper.
The first species was a red grouper. A really cool fish, but not something we could eat, so we had to throw it back.
What is that? Lane.
This is a lane snapper. Great for eating, but too small, so we had to throw it back. But I'm glad we were getting hooked up on a lot of different species.
Oh. You kicked out your hand.
I know.
What is that?
Nice. Throughout the day, we bounced to a lot of different spots on the way to the red snapper spot, and divers spooled up with Beyond Braid, Bahama Blue, and White on some of his reels. Beyond Braid is my favorite braided fishing line, and as you'll see later with the red snapper, it catches big fish.
Lift the rod up just to see. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Heavy?
Yeah.
Where's the grouper? Yeah.
They usually run.
Yeah, they usually. Oh no, big trigger. We'll take it.
Cool.
Another huge trigger.
Yeah, that's massive. Alright. Sweet. Sick. Never seen one of those.
Yeah,
or that
cool.
big, I should say.
Great eating.
Heck yeah, good stuff. I've never caught a triggerfish before, so another cool fish checked off the bucket list. That fish fought very hard for its size, but there are many more big fish to come.
Something better.
Yeah, try to spread apart a little bit more. Alright.
The lane snapper were hungry today, and we caught a lot. The most distinct thing about the lane snapper is its delicious taste. It's prized for its mild, sweet flavor and firm texture. Makes it a favorite among anglers and chefs. They are smaller than some snapper species, usually averaging between 8 and 14 inches, although they can grow up to 20.
Big lane.
Big lane.
Really? Keep those tomorrow.
Nice.
Man, this is a cool spot here.
Okay, now it's time for the red snapper. These fish get massive and they taste so good. We were about 100 miles offshore at this point, but still not yet to the main snapper spot. I dropped down my squid, but this thing came up instead.
Oh, you have to be joking.
Actually?
Little brown shark came up, which was not the target species, but cool to see, I guess. Finally made it to the ultimate red snapper spot near the Dry Tortugas. We were ready to get our limit within the half hour, and the battle was on.
Leave it up. We're gonna redrift over once you get this north rates up.
Did Joe get one?
Big one.
Really? Red snapper. Let's see. Fire. Sick. Good stuff. First red snapper. It's awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, you heard it play.
Yep. That's sick.
Nice.
Heck yeah. This is more like it, diver. Yeah, there he is. Oh yeah. It's definitely bigger than the last. All hooked up on red snapper. At the end of the day. Oh yeah. That's fire. They fight hard, dude. Fire. Let's go. Yes, sir. Alright, guys, after a long day, finally on the red snapper. We got 7 in the boat right now, 8 in the boat. That's fire. Let's keep getting on them.
Red snapper fights super hard, as you've seen. We were getting hooked up on him left and right. My dad caught the biggest of the day thus far, but it was just the beginning of fighting these ocean monsters that are gonna taste so good.
Attaboy. Yeah, buddy.
Those jigs? Yeah. Is down bottom? Yeah, down bottom.
Nice. Let's go.
Yeah. Jig it. Let it go down.
Yeah, you get back right. Oh, on the jig. Fire.
Yep.
That's fire. Alrighty guys, the red snapper. Something I've been wanting to catch for a really long time. Super cool fish. That's so awesome. It's been a tough day, but finally limited out on these things. They fight super hard, super cool fish. That's a stud. Attaboy, Sean. Fire.
Overall, this was a tough day of fishing, but we ended up limiting out on snapper. We each caught about 2 or 3 each, so it was an awesome time, even though we didn't get a ton. Catching red snapper in the Dry Tortugas was a massive blessing. All glory to God for this trip and his beautiful creations. We helped Diver clean the blood off his boat, and we headed in for the day.
That was the best ending you could ever had.
It was worth it.
100%.
It was worth it.
That was worth it, yeah.
I wanted to go on a Freeman trip with Diver for an extremely long time, but because of price and timing, it could never happen. But this trip was one to remember, even if it wasn't the best day of fishing. There's nothing better than spending time with your friends out on the water catching big fish. We lined up all of our fish, and we were ready to ship the meat back from Florida to New Jersey, where I live. That was awesome, and we're gonna be eating good. We're back in New Jersey, and I got a package. Let's see if it made it. Alrighty boys, let's see. We have 2 coolers with all of our meat. Zach took some of them with dry ice. Oh gosh. Okay, alright. That just flew off. Dude, it's actually... Wait, is that the dry ice or the fish? That's the dry ice. I'm stupid. This is the fish. Oh my gosh. It's actually solid frozen. That's so awesome. Alrighty, we got our fillets here. My dog Whisper. We got our fillets, we got red snapper, we got cobia, we got more in that cooler. This is gonna be a feast. Let's cook it up. We had lane snapper, red snapper, cobia, and triggerfish. Chef Charles came over to whip it up. Put lemon, butter, seasonings, threw it on the pan, and it looked good. I absolutely love seafood, especially cobia and red snapper, so I knew this was gonna be a good meal. Cobia, red snapper. Taste test time. Cobia. That was worth it. Red snapper. That is good. See you on the next episode. Oh, glory to God. Be positive. Just fish.